Alright, you guys, we should be live by now. OBS usually only takes a few seconds to go live for me now that I've merged all of my files and stuff. But welcome to the stream, you guys. As you can tell, I'm all over the place like I usually am. I was supposed to have the face cam on, which I will get up here shortly. Maybe not. The Sims keeps calling me back. Alright. Just add a little video capture device. Okay. Use built-in. Whoa, there I am. Hi guys. Today will be, more or less like a usual stream. I'm in a fairly good mood today. I had a pretty good breakfast / lunch, brunch if you will. Yeah, but this is the house that we're going to be completely demolishing today. Some of you guys may see it and not see a single problem with it and may think, oh Alex, you're crazy, why are you going to tear down this whole house? I need to tear down a house, okay? And like, I guess I could show you guys in my online, like my world manager or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Here, I'll show you guys right now. So I promise, I'm not crazy. I'm not just deleting this house for no reason. It's like, I love this house. I'll finish showing you guys a little tour of it in a second. And also the tours for myself too, because it'll be on the record. In case I ever do choose, like, I just really miss this house for some reason, but I never play it, so there's no reason for me to miss it. It's the perfect candidate to be knocked down. I fall in love with all of my builds. There's a lot of builds I do not like, but I still love them. This one is one of those. I don't like it, but I love the concept, and I love how small it was, and it was one of my first houses that I built a detached room from, you know. But, like, look at this. Like, all of these houses are... This one's one of my favorites, still to this day, and it was one of my first ones I built. All of these houses, if you look, are either moderated, like, how do I describe this? Altered from the original state that they were in, or they're completely new houses, like this one, I believe is a completely new house. This one is a completely new house, was built off of a fresh lot. This one was built off of a fresh lot. This one, you know what I mean? This one was also built off a fresh lot. And so, like, all of these houses, this is one of the few remaining houses that I will not demolish, just because I like the way it looks. Like, it's kind of like a crescent moon shape, like, going up. Like, the houses are kind of small in this area, and then they get much larger as you go across that way. Well, in order to keep up with the much largeness, this house is the next to go, which is the Sharma household, which is where I'm going to be building. It's going to be a medium-sized house, obviously, because it's on a small lot. So it's going to be close to this one, but a little closer to these two right here, in terms of size and height. So it'll probably be about 2 or 3 stories, give or take. But yeah, welcome to the stream, you guys. Let me know if everything is working fine for you, if the music is too loud, or if you can't hear it at all. I do have a very loud fan on in the background. The fresh lot. This one. Oh, there goes my voice. I'm glad that you're here, Shannon. Thank you for coming by. But yeah. This is the household as it sits. Let me see if I can give you guys a decent little tour, and also for myself. Like I said, I want to have this on the record, I guess, so that way when I do go back, because I'm sure I'll want this house back. Like, I don't have any problems with it. It's just very simplistic, and like I said, on the plot of land it's sitting on, I wanted it to be like smallest, medium to large houses, if that makes any sense. So I think right around 10 to 11 a.m. is about the best time in terms of lighting in the game, at least for me anyway. I'm really gonna sit here and wait for it to get to 10 o'clock a.m. because I want to give you guys like a decent tour with like good lighting coming in through all the windows and stuff. Alright, whatever, we're gonna stop there at 9:30. Okay, so there's homegirl over there. I'm just gonna pause it so that way she. Okay. Alright. So here is the house. Like I said, I'm gonna go into it in tab mode so that way you guys can see the house in its entirety. This is kind of making me nostalgic. Like part of me wants to not demolish it at all. But I know that some things have to go, you know. So let's go ahead and get. There's another house that I built. That's actually the side of the house. It's not the front. The front is over that direction. So just a small little house. A little bit too small for my liking, but it's a nice house nonetheless. This sim does have the insane trait, and so I made her a misunderstood sim, if you will. She's like the laugh of the town, I guess, but she's passionate about what she does. Okay, what the fuck? My screenshot is not working. Whatever. Kind of sucks though. I'd like to have at least one screenshot or something. Maybe I should have done it before the stream started. But there we go. Alright. So let's just keep moving on forward this way. So there's actually this pretty cool painting right here. I'll go ahead and take you guys around the outside as well. I really love these tiles. I'm actually going to try and incorporate that into the next build. But like I said, I'm going to bulldoze this entire lot on stream. So you guys have that to look forward to. So there she is, looking scared as ever. I'm actually going to screenshot her as well, because she will be getting a makeover as well at some point. Probably not in this stream. I don't know why, I'm using the wrong buttons today. So here's the entrance into this little room, or whatever you want to call it. Of course it's not finished right here, but this was just like a little entry room. I think I'm going to leave this back room out here, because I put a lot of effort into it. As for why that's missing meshes, I have no idea. I think there was definitely a table there at one point. Yeah, there was definitely a table when you walk in here at one point, and there's like some paint cans and stuff. So this is like her little outdoor / indoor greenhouse area. There's some watermelons right there on the floor, just a whole bunch of fresh food from her garden, which is upstairs. It's a little kitchen area. Yeah, I'm going to leave this. I was about to take a screenshot, but I'm not going to do anything except for add stuff. Like, I'm going to get rid of that little dory thing. Like I said, she's kind of like the talk of the town in the bad way. Like, people think she's insane, and I gave her that personality trait because there wasn't really one that I thought reflected her too well. But she's not insane. She's passionate about what she likes, and to other people she comes off as a little crazy. So I think that was kind of the storyline behind her. Like I said, I'm not going to delete her. I'm going to give her a complete makeover, though, because she deserves it. Actually, Simpixels, I was just thinking about this last night. I went onto Simpixels' Tumblr blog, and she just converted some bar stools that look exactly like these chairs right here. These, like almost identical to them, but they're bar stools, so they're a lot taller. And I believe I downloaded them, actually. Let's find out here in a second. Yeah, here's her little garden. Like I said, I don't play this a lot, so there's a tree growing there, and there's, I think, a plantain tree going right there. But she's been taking care of those on her own. I don't play this a lot at all. I built it, and then I never came back to visit. So let's get to the house tour. Like I said, it's nothing spectacular, which is why I'm okay with getting rid of it. I love the shape and everything of the house. It's time for a change. I wish that I could just not bulldoze the house, which I'm not going to bulldoze the entire lot. I've established. I'm going to leave that little back patio area, or the little greenhouse area. But I think all of this is going to go. Or I'm just going to drastically change it. Because look, it's not really like anything special. It's just a basic thing. Girl, you came running in. Are you still on fast forward? She sure is. She's like, I am here. You are not taking my house from me without me having some coffee first, damn it. And having a little read through my book here. But yeah, nothing special. I didn't really take too much time to build it because I didn't give her a storyline at first. Other than like the protest signs, there was no real way to tell her story, so I never really bothered to give her a storyline. But now that she's established as an activist, and a passionate one at that, I kind of like the whole storyline of her being insane, or maybe seemingly insane to some people. Yeah. But here's this as it sits, and I think I'm going to go ahead and get into the build mode aspect of this. Before I forget, I do want to check and see if I have those bar stools in my game. Which is super weird, because I definitely started my game from scratch. You know what? I didn't drag them into my fucking mods folder. Go figure. I bet they're sitting right here. Yep, there they are. Right there. The arrow chairs. Alright, well, let me do that really quick before I forget. There are boundaries. Try to knock them out. There's just 723. If you guys have not checked out Simpixel's Tumblr page already, go ahead and do so. I know her personally as a creator. I mean, we're not like the best of friends, but I would consider us like fairly close, I guess. We've worked together on like 1 or 2 pieces of CC, and by work together I just mean like I had an idea of a picture I wanted made and she made it for me. But we may actually get the chance to work together here soon. I actually have a sneak peek if you want to see. I spoke to her last night in her stream about wanting to collaborate on something. I basically mentioned that I have some ideas for some patterns that she could potentially, let's see, I would have to scan them manually. Let me show you the patterns and then I'll talk to you guys about it. So basically you can't really see too well. The lighting isn't the best in here, and the lines aren't that dark at all, but it's going to be a series of small cacti. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 and 2 of them are like half cut off for I think I'm going to make these sides half cut off as well for symmetrical purposes. So when like you go to scan the image into Photoshop, you're able to copy and paste the image instead of enlarging the image and losing the quality size of it. But yeah, there are some patterns that hopefully we'll get to see maybe in some artwork, maybe on a pillow, maybe on a couch, who knows. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm really glad that there's some people in the community that take me seriously as an artist and see my potential and are willing to do things like that. And I think it'll be a cool learning experience for me too, because like, I don't know, maybe we'll have like a Skype call or something one day when she's working on her CC, and I'll learn a little bit more from her that way. Because it's different to watch a tutorial on YouTube that's real general and not specific to any certain person. It's kind of harder to follow along, right? Whereas if it's someone that you kind of know and who's familiar with your learning style and how you go about doing things and executing them, that person can compensate for like a patience level where you don't get that with the YouTube video. Like you have to pause the YouTube video if you don't understand what's going on and you can't really ask questions. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm looking forward to it. It's nothing official yet. Like there's nothing that we've like physically sat down and had a meeting about, or like over the phone or whatever. So it's just up in the air. But I did start sketching out some ideas, so that way I can send her and show her that I'm being serious and that it is something that I'm passionate about, art. So mad at myself, man, for not putting those bar chairs in. They would have fit perfectly in this house. Alright, so I'm going to change the title because this is not from scratch like I had anticipated. Well, I said I was going to do it, and then I literally talked myself out of it. Like, I actually do like the house. I told you guys in the Skype call, Johnny, that I was going to do a stream. I'm sorry you didn't get a notification. You're fond of the protest signs. Hi, Ernestine, love. Alright, I'm just going to do it. Which room do I delete first, though? Yo, I'm pissing out. I really am. I'm just going to keep the shell. I'm just going to rebuild the whole inside and maybe alter the shell to some extent. So for the sake of the stream, we're just going to say she moved into this house. It is a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house with an open space upstairs with the potential to be an office or a game room or both, or maybe another bedroom altogether. The only reason why it wasn't listed as a secondary bedroom or a second bedroom at all is because there's no closet or bathroom space up here. She actually does have $11,000 in her budget. For the sake of building as well, I'm going to go ahead and throw in like a $25,000 with her $11,000 plus in savings. So this $25,000, maybe she took out a loan from the bank, and she'll have to pay that back later with her job. I recently started speaking as if my Sims have their own lives and as if they're like living as real people would in their own worlds, right? So like saying she got a loan or whatever, you don't have to say that. Like I could just say I'm gonna sit here and type in $25,000 for the sake of building because I need that to build realistically. You know what I mean? But that's not. I don't know. I feel like you form more of a connection with your Sims and with your characters, and I don't have that yet. Like I have Sims that I like. I see some people that like post the same sim over and over and over again, and they're like, "This is my baby, Honolulu," or whatever the fuck her name is, or whatever. You know what I mean? And like, I don't have that attachment. Like to me, they're just characters that you create or that I create in my game, and like, I feel like if I start giving them backstories, maybe I'll have more of a reason to come back and play them and like see how their family plays out and stuff. Because right now I don't play the game like that. I play the game to build and to make Sims, but I don't play with them. Like, if you put it in a simpler term, I say The Sims for me is like playing with dolls when you're a kid. Um, for me, the only thing I like doing is dressing up the dolls and organizing their house and like rearranging their house. But I don't actually give a shit about sitting there and forming a relationship with a Ken doll. You know what I mean? Like that was never interesting to me as a kid and as an adult as well. Like I'd rather just build. And I'm not saying anything against anyone who does it. I actually admire people who do because then you have a connection, like I said, to your game. And like for right now, it's just pixels on a screen for me. Like without the CC, I wouldn't want to play the game the way that normal people do, or the way that other people do, I should say, not normal. Because there's no right way to play the game. But yeah, I almost didn't come on mic today, or the face cam. As you can see, the face cam was off, and so was the mic. I don't know if you guys caught that, or if you were here one of the first few minutes of the stream. There was no sound, and my face cam was off. I don't know, sometimes you get discouraged, I guess, by a lack of audience or like a lack of numbers in your audience, um, a lack of finances. Because honestly, like I'm trying to make YouTube or art one of my main financial sources of like stability. I don't know how to describe it, but eventually I would like to not have a part-time job or a 9 to 5 job. Like I'd like to be able to do YouTube and go to school to learn how to do YouTube. You know what I mean? And make money while doing so, which is something very difficult to get into, but if I don't try, I'll never know. And I think I'm doing a damn good job of trying. Like I'm here at least once a week. From the get-go, I was doing almost daily streams, and that's not something that most people can commit to or have the time to commit to. But I did, because it was summertime for me, and I was like, you know what? If I'm going to get my name out there, if I'm going to be heard, I'm going to have to put in twice as much work as other people are doing to get half as much recognition, and that's showing, for sure. I'm not getting nearly as much recognition as some people who upload videos like once a week or once a month. But I don't care, because I'm doing this for me, mostly. I'm teaching myself and I'm learning. And like there's other people who go to school for like marketing and social media and stuff like that who don't have half as much knowledge as I've learned simply from experiencing social media on my own. And I'm just so grateful for that. Honestly, I really am blessed in the way that I was allowed to explore my creativity as a kid, and here as an adult, it's paying off. I'm not one of those people who's content with having a kid and getting married at 21 and um, having a 9 to 5 job, the same job for the rest of my life. That's not going to be me, and that won't be my kids' lives either, because we live in a growing and evolving world, and you don't have to live like everyone else to be happy. You can find your own happiness from playing The Sims, or from making YouTube videos, or from art, or from being a dancer or a singer if that's what you do. Like, you don't have to do everything that everyone else is doing just because they're successful at it, or just because they're they seem to be happy, because no one lives the same life as anyone else. We're all put on this earth to live separate lives. We can relate to each other through struggle, but it's through our creativity and our passions and our strengths that push us and drive us forward in humanity as souls, as consciousness. Like, we are nothing more than creative energy. Like, and people forget that sometimes. They get caught up in mundane. Like, I feel like this is the common subject that I talk about, but it's so true. People get caught up in the mundane, everyday things, like going to work, checking the mail when you come home from work, coming inside, warming up a frozen dinner, going to watch an hour of America's Got Talent, and then going to your bed, sitting on social media until you fall asleep, and then you wake up the next morning and do the same shit over and over and over again. Some people do it every single day of the week. Some people only do it 4 days a week, but it's still a routine, and it's not something that I'm interested in doing. And by me coming on here and letting people know that it's okay to be different, it's okay to not want to have a traditional job or a traditional career, I'm helping other people express their own creativity and accept their own creativity. Because like I said, we're all different. We're all come from backgrounds. Although some of us may be similar in ways, that doesn't mean that you're the same as the person next to you. Just as unique as fingerprints are, humans are just as unique as the fingerprint that they have. No two people have the same fingerprint. So no two people are identical. Like, not even identical twins think alike, or will dress the same, or will like the same subject. They might have overlaps, but that doesn't mean they're going to be the same person. And they're literally created from the same cell. But the fact that that cell split into two different cells, we're all different from the person next to you, despite how close you may be related by blood or whatnot. I think people forget that. It's okay to be different. It's okay to stand out. It's okay to be uncomfortable because you stand out. Because guess what? The reason other people around you aren't standing out is because they're uncomfortable too. Your discomfort comes from taking the extra step and going the extra mile and being different and accepting yourself as being different and being unique and being beautiful in your uniqueness. I'm a very, very passionate person, and I've never gone to school for public speaking. I took one communication class in college, and I've done theater for most of my life. Like, I actually haven't done it in the past few years because I was really down on myself for being a creative weirdo and for being someone who doesn't follow societal norms. I really thought that I was going to have to drop theater wholly to be a normal person, to be a functioning member of society. Because to make it as an actor in Hollywood is something that happens to very, very few people, no matter how hard you work for it. It's something that's I think the term is like a pipe dream or something. Like, it's something that's very far out of many people's leagues. And I accepted that. People told me that, and that's what I accepted. I was like, you know what, I'll never be an actor, so I'm not going to do this anymore. And I became very depressed. And that's where I found art. It was my own way to express creativity, all while being quiet about it. I don't have to get up on stage and embarrass myself. Not that theater is embarrassing. I don't want to get the wrong idea, but I was a very shy person before I started acting, before I started modeling, before I started getting up on stages, on platforms, and being judged and critiqued so heavily and harshly by my own peers sometimes. And I never really lost that sense of shyness. It never went away, and it never really does. However, I was able to reorganize those feelings into something that's beneficial. And honestly, when I started my YouTube channel, I didn't want to add my voice. I was afraid that I would get criticized for the way that I spoke. Either people would say I sounded too feminine, or people would say I sound gay, or whatever adjective you want to fucking use for it that day. And it really was discouraging. But knowing the fact that I'm so shy in the real world, it pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I was like, you know what? fuck what anyone says, you're going to do this. Like, if this is something you want to pursue, you're going to have to bite the bullet and do it. And I did. And I don't know. I'm not a negative person. I'm actually a very kind-hearted soul. I've just been through so much bullshit that I assume everyone else that comes at me is coming at me with a negative context, a negative connotation, if you will. And so that's why I'm so quick to jump when I think I'm being disrespected or whatnot. This is actually a good song, but if it ever started... The video is kind of funny too. I don't know, I'm going to shut up and quit being sappy for a little bit and just build, because this song puts me in the mood. I love house music and like electronic music, dubstep, trap music. So if any of you guys have any artists that you think I might be interested in, feel free to let me know in the comments. I love listening to new music and finding out about new artists. I really like Flume, Disclosure, I think Galamantis or Galavantis, one of the two. Elena Baraz has a really nice voice in some trap music. Aluna George has a beautiful voice. Anything that has her, like, that you think I might not have heard, feel free to drop it in the comments. I would love to know, like, what type of music you guys listen to. Like, what motivates you to do your homework, or to clean, or you know what I mean? Like, things that are real inspirational. Because I've been in a real, like, musical drought lately. I have not found any music that I relate to. And I don't want to say good music, because all music is good to someone. But yeah, I've been in a musical drought lately, and I've yet to find music that, other than like throwback music, that I can relate to. And it's kind of sad. Like, I like being able to jam out to music, but also get into my feels. Okay, I take that back. There's been two songs. The two most recent songs that Kesha released, instantly, the second I heard them, I knew I was going to like get into my feels and I would relate to them like no other. And I did, and I love them. But I want like a whole new artist I've never heard of before. Like, I think Oodles mentioned last month, maybe sometime, that Oodles of Sims on YouTube, that's what I'm talking about, for those of you who don't know. She mentioned that I might like a band called The Internet, which has a lead singer named Sid, and she makes her own like side projects aside from The Internet or before The Internet. I don't know, I haven't really looked into it that much. But her music is really good, and it's right up my alley, and Oodles didn't know me more than a couple of weeks before that, you know what I mean? But just from like sharing my music choices and the things I like to listen to, she picked up on, oh, well, maybe he might like this. But yeah, I listen to anything, honestly, anything with a good beat. Music like this, I don't normally care for, really repetitive beats and really repetitive sounds. But for the sake of building and stuff, it does help me. It keeps my mind going and flowing, I guess. And I'm able to take less breaks. Speaking of breaks, I will check the chat here in a second. I know I've just been talking up a storm. I haven't really been listening to you guys' feedback, but I will check right after I place this rib. Alright. Let's see, let's look for our timeout card. I'm going to read the chat really quick. I'm not going anywhere. Hi, Simmer Boy, if you're still here, welcome. The ones you get attached to are based off of characters you've created or stories or whatnot. See, and I don't think as structurally as you do, Shannon, so I commend you on that you're able to sit down and write stories out and stuff. I have to have a visual image of what this character looks like before I can give them a background story. That's why I make the Sims. Like, it helps me with my art, too. If I make a Sim that I get really inspired by, I'm able to draw that Sim almost to a T. Whereas if I copied an image of someone off of Google or whatever, there's always a chance that, like, there could be repercussions from stealing someone else's image or someone else's photograph. Hi, Jovan. Welcome to the stream, love. I'm not saying I'm in love with you. I love everyone equally. I call everyone love or babe. So if you're new here, get used to it. Uh, yeah. I don't love you. Like I said, feel free to suggest any songs or any music that you guys like the most, because I could really use it right now. I think this is all like a Flume playlist, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't know if I can survive listening to Flume for the rest of the stream. I'll probably only stream for about another hour or so. I do have some stuff I gotta take care of today. It's just about 2, yeah, so about 3 o'clock I might have to get off. Maybe around 3:15 or 3:20 I could push it a little bit today. I don't have too much to get done, but like I've mentioned before, I'm actually in the process of moving homes. So I've got some packing I could do, I've got some cleaning I could do. I have some dogs I could tend to that are downstairs, probably running amok, doing what they want to do. But I mean, they're dogs, you know what I mean? I'm not going to hold them to high standards to, like, clean up the house for me. Yeah. Like I said, to anyone new here, these talks, I guess, of sorts, if you walked in the middle of them, aren't meant to be taken. They're not meant to be taken anyway, really. Take them however you please. I'm a very closed off person, and by joining YouTube, it's allowed me to be more open with my audience members, and so I'm able to speak about subjects that either other people don't talk about and aren't willing to be real about, or it just gives me an opportunity to get to know you guys better by me talking out about them. So if at any point someone feels uncomfortable, all I can suggest is to mute the stream if my speeches get uncomfortable or whatever. I mean, you can make a comment and say, hey, can you tone it down a little bit? And if I am being a little bit much, I will take that into consideration. But if I'm just talking and, like, on a good streak and giving good advice or, like, venting or something, and someone's like, hey, shut the fuck up, like, I'm going to treat you the same way you treat me. So just tread on eggshells with anyone new that you meet. Because you never know what someone's going through, and, like, that one comment could shut that person up forever. You know what I mean? Like, if you're a really self-conscious person to begin with, and someone comments something, like, really rude or abrasive, like, yeah, they're just one person on the internet, but sometimes you can take that really offensively, and some people don't think about that in the slightest. Okay, but why is that showing? That's what I want to know. It's not poking out. Alright, so I did say I was going to redo this entire house, so I'm going to try and make an effort to make it look a little different. Come on, really? And by different, I just mean I'm going to go outside of my comfort zone a little bit. Like these windows here would normally bother me. They kind of still do. The fact that those are all brown and these are different. Like there's 3 different colors of windows on this one wall. But I'm trying to go with the green color scheme of the house and make these a little more, I don't know, lived in, I guess, for lack of a better term. Alright, so this used to be the front entrance to the house, but it's now just going to be a little side porch area. Because I did say that I didn't want... Okay, so I started off the stream talking about wanting to bulldoze the entire house, and I had a good reason for it. However, I think I've put so much time into the house already as is. There's no real point of completely bulldozing it. I can just remodel it and get a similar effect to what I'm looking for. As is. Hopefully there's not a problem with these stairs being there. Let's see. Because I want this guy to be moved in just a smidge. Right there. Close. Actually, you know what? I want those stairs still. Oh, the joys of having CC. It just really contributes to lag in every single way. To anyone who says CC doesn't lag your computer, you're lying. I used to be one of those people, and I would tell other people, it doesn't lag your computer. What are you talking about? Yeah, right. And it may not lag a lot for some people. It may not be lagalicious depending on your level of CC shopping. For me, I know I'm a borderline CC hoarder. I've got nothing on Shannon's CC game. She is like the hoarding queen, the CC hoarding queen. But it comes in handy for like on occasion. Shannon is in a Skype call with me and a couple other close friends that I've met through the simming community, and we do like build challenges as of recently, or we'll do what do you call them? Create a sim challenges. We started off by doing ugly sims, and we remade the ugly sim. Like we all downloaded the same sim from the gallery, and we're all given like 15 minutes or 20 minutes to remodel the sim, make over the sim, I guess. And there's some really talented people out there that go underappreciated because other people have YouTube channels or other people have more following on their YouTube channels, you know what I mean? And I'm grateful to have met these people, and I don't give a fuck about the number of viewers they're going to bring to my channel from theirs, or, you know what I mean? Like, I talk to them because they're my friends, and they listen to me, and they give me advice when I need it, and they're there to be that shoulder to cry on when I need it, and, like, that's more important to me than finding a group of YouTubers that I can just use for views, you know what I mean? Like, because they're a successful YouTuber already, which I'm not saying I won't do collaborations with people who are already on YouTube and successful. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like, I'm open to any and all collaborations. I'm just saying that these challenges were brought about by me realizing how talented this group of people was, and how grateful I was to have found them, because I finally felt like I was accepted by people who were just as creative as I was, and I was just so grateful to have found such a warm and welcoming group of people. And they're all so talented, and like by doing those creatism challenges, like, yeah, we do them mostly privately on our own time, like in the Skype call or whatever, but I think I've done it like one or two on stream before. And it gets to showcase talents of people who won't ever have their talent showcased unless it's for someone like me who paves the way and makes those talents known to other people. Um, I'm not saying I have this big YouTube following. I know I don't. I'm grateful for everyone who follows me, but I'm not PewDiePie by any sense of the means, or Jenna Marbles, or even her boyfriend Julian, who wasn't a YouTuber, but yet he still has all these, probably millions of followers by now. And I'm not saying I'm doing anything like momentous or like anything and deserving of praise or anything. I just think other people deserve a chance to shine, and not just the usual people who already have an established follower base, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm just grateful, and I understand that I was a nobody at one point. So giving back to people who feel like they're nobodies and like their voice or their ideas won't ever be heard helps me to but yeah, I'm just kind of rambling now. They're good ramblings. I don't want anything to be taken in the wrong way. I'm just a very passionate person for not only succeeding myself, but watching other people succeed with me. That's always been a passion of mine, is having close-knit friends that I can look up to their accomplishments, and that'll make me want to push myself further in life. And I've needed that for a really long time. I have not had that. I wish I could say everyone's name, but A, I don't know about privacy reasons if any of you guys want to be mentioned. And honestly, I feel like I might leave one or two people out and I forget. Let me see, let me think in my head and I'll say y'all's names out loud if I remember. Yeah, I'm not going to say anyone's names out loud because my luck, I'd forget that one person that would get offended by it, you know what I mean? But to anyone in the Skype call that's been there for me, or has been there for me before the Skype calls, I really do appreciate every one of you for encouraging me and for pushing me and for giving me compliments. Not that I didn't deserve the compliments, not that I don't know that I'm talented, the compliments mean a lot, especially when they come from people who are just as talented as you are, and they don't see it either, you know what I mean? Because, like, and it's a learning procedure, it's a learning experience for both of us, because then I can say, hey, you know what? You're down on yourself all the time, but your Sims are just as bomb, if not better and more complex than mine are, and, like, some people need to hear that sometimes. Some people know they're talented, they've been taken advantage of because of their talents, or they haven't been given the opportunity to shine in the right way. And so that's really discouraging as an artist, as a creative person, because most artists are really private and don't share their work at all. And so to not get good feedback makes it that much less likely that an artist is actually going to share their work. Mind you, there's some people out there that consider themselves artists and are just making creations for the sake of making them and for the sake of likes and whatnot on YouTube and stuff, or on Instagram or whatever. And I'm not saying I'm personally not guilty of that. Like, I would like to have thousands of likes on one photo on Instagram or whatever, but I know that's not realistic because my art isn't a generalized form of media. My art is actual art, and it comes from compassion, and it comes from hurt, and it comes from pain and disgust and distrust. My art comes from reality. And there's some people who forget that that's how you make successful art. Numbers don't mean shit. If your art doesn't have meaning to you, if you're not going to physically hurt when someone buys one of your art pieces and it's something that meant something to you, it should physically hurt you to get rid of them. It shouldn't be like, oh, well, this is just another coin that I'm putting in my pocket. Like, I'm not saying people shouldn't be artists to make money. I'm not saying that at all, but I think that's a completely different type of art altogether. Almost to the point where I wouldn't consider it traditional art, because that's art. The type of art I do is art for a cause, art from pain. Whereas art for money is just that. It's art for money. You're just doing it to be paid for it. You don't put your heart and soul into an art piece. And those aren't the types of pieces that are going to be around for hundreds of years. Like, Picasso and Van Gogh weren't making art for the public eye to see. They were making art because they were in pain, or because they saw things around them they didn't like. And that's the type of artist I'm inspired by. I'm not inspired by people who just make art for money, people who just sell their art for ridiculously overpriced like values of money, just to make coin, like, just to, you know what I mean? Like, I can't consider myself an artist if that's the only reason why I'm making art, is to make money off of it. I would like to make money off of my art in the future, more money. I'd like to be compensated at least somewhat for my art in the future. I know that I have a better heart than that. And I would hope that by me speaking out about it, it helps put into perspective for other people that there's other reasons to do art. You can do art because it's fun. You don't have to do art to be good. You don't have to be good. You don't have to do art to get gratification from other people online or in person. Like, you do art because you want to do art. You do art because you're in pain, because you hurt, because you've been shaken to the core. Like, that's where good art comes from. And I'm not putting down anyone who, like, traces pictures out of a coloring book, because I was there at one point when I was like 10 or 11 learning how to draw, and I was tracing pictures in the library from books that I didn't want to rent or take home because I was afraid that my parents would make fun of me. I was afraid that by drawing, people would think that I was gay, or that I was effeminate or something, or that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't man enough at that age, you know what I mean? Like, I thought I was genuinely, the only right way to live was by playing soccer, playing football, being outside and playing in the mud. Which I did. When I was younger, I would play outside in the fucking mud. I would kick around a little kickball. But that grew old really quickly, because most male sports come from aggression and violence, and I don't have that. I'm not an aggressive or violent person. I'll speak up for myself when I feel like I've been wronged, but that doesn't mean I'm aggressive or violent. Like, I don't have that same... Aggression and violence aren't entertaining to me, whether I'm playing it or watching it. Like, if I'm having a few drinks with someone at Buffalo Wild Wings, eating a little veggie burger, because y'all know I can't eat the fucking wings from there, or I choose not to, not that I can't. If I'm out having a drink at a bar or something and there's a fight coming on, yeah, I'll watch it and I'll ask questions like I'm interested, but that doesn't mean I give a shit about it. It's small talk, you know what I mean? And, like, I think some people get too caught up in the wrong things. Like, people get too focused on trying to maintain these ideas of hyper-masculinity in order to make friends, in order to have jobs even. Like, there's some places that won't hire you because your voice is too high-pitched. They'll just tell you, oh, they already have an employee. You know what I mean? And I faced that. I definitely have. At Bath & Body Works, of all places, I know that I kicked the hell out of that interview. And this was a while ago. It wasn't recent. So I'm not, like, talking about it isn't going to bring up bad memories or anything. You know what I mean? But there was an interview I had, and I know I kicked the shit out of that interview. I did all of my marketing sales and everything. I turned to the girl next to me asked her what her fucking skin type was, suggested her a lotion based on her fucking skin type, sis. This was in the first interview. It was a group interview, mind you. I know I stood the fuck out. But it was either my voice or... And I can't even say the way I was dressed, because I wore a button down with a tie. So I was dressed like a man or a male would normally dress. I think it was just the way I spoke and how enthusiastic I was about the products and stuff, because my mom's been using Bath and Body Works since I was a kid. So I knew almost every single product that was in that fucking store. I knew every lotion scent. I knew the fucking smells of the lotion. I was over fucking qualified for that job. I knew every undertone in almost every single candle. I knew all the limited edition candles that weren't there anymore. I knew about all their fucking discounts and like roughly what time of month or what time of year they came out. I knew all the shit, and I showed my dick in that interview. So why didn't I get the job? It was nothing but discrimination. That was really the only thing that I could boil it down to. Because it's not like I went in there and I was like a kid on crack in a candy store. I wasn't excited about it. I was just showing that I had knowledge about it and I was capable of starting that job that fucking day. And I showed that to that manager, but either it was prejudice for my skin tone because it was a white lady that interviewed me, or it was prejudice because of the way I spoke and how much knowledge I had about it. But that's what I'm saying. You shouldn't be afraid to know too much about a certain subject because someone else tells you it's gay to do so. Like, if you want to watch the fucking TV show Glee, then by all means, go watch the TV show Glee. Like, that doesn't make you gay. It just means that you appreciate musical theater, or you appreciate TV shows like that. You know what I mean? Like, we live in a world where people judge other people so freely and so quickly. Like, people assume the worst about people based on their own past experiences, and that person has no effect on that. That person could give two shits less about your background because they're new. They're your foreground. They're someone trying to invite themselves into your life, and for you not to give that person even a first chance, let alone a second chance, to explain themselves and to like let their intents be known, then you're just a dick. Honestly, and you're not going to make it far in life at all if you don't allow people to express themselves freely. Like, who the fuck are you to judge people based on what books they read or what sports they play, or if they choose not to play sports and they choose to be a figure skater? Like, well, I guess that's a sport too, so it's a bad comparison. If they choose not to do male-dominant sports and they're a male, and they choose to be a cheerleader, or they choose to be a figure skater or a ballerina, you know what I mean? Like, no one is special. No one is here to tell one person, hey, you can't do that. Because sure, the fuck you can. Watch me do it. Watch me do it with fucking finesse, too. Like, that's the type of message I want to spread. And I feel like some people don't see that. Like, some people think, oh, this kid is just on YouTube to get likes or whatever because he knows he's a good builder and he's a show-off and blah blah blah, and that's not it at all, bitch. Like, I know I'm a good builder. If I wanted to just get likes and shit, I'd post it in the fucking Sims 4 community, but I don't. That's not why I do this. I do this to teach myself and to teach others. And I feel like some people forget that by being online, you have the power to teach other people, and some people don't use their following base in the way they should. Like, you should be teaching people right from wrong. You shouldn't be allowing mistakes and negative things to be spoken. Like, I would never allow someone to be disrespected in my chat and not speak up about it, because that's fucking rude. Because the people in my chat are there for me, why wouldn't I be there for you? Ajani, I promise you, music I listen to people don't like either, so feel free to send it. Hi KK Renee, hi Kie. I don't speak Spanish, but thank you for that hola, amigo. Like, I know Spanish and I'm fluent in it, I just don't, I'm speaking in English. This isn't a Spanish stream. But thank you for assuming I speak in Spanish. I didn't mean for that to come off rude, so I do apologize. Like, that could have just been a simple, like, hello or whatever, and you didn't think twice about it, but, like, to put it into perspective, it would be like, what if... Oh, I didn't even show you guys this bedroom. I'm going to take a picture of it in live mode. I don't know. I'm just going to start letting things go more often. So I do apologize if that came off the wrong way. I didn't mean to come off as a dick. But I'm learning. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. And neither is anyone else. So to hold people up to the standards as if there is a perfect person... What the fuck includes it? I don't know what's happening. Fuck. Are you kidding me? But yeah, here's this bedroom. I hope I got a screenshot. If not, it's on video, so I can always just come back and watch it. This has gotta go. Those can stay. That bed can stay. Honestly, this whole room is fine. But I do have headboards that I've since accumulated that I can add to this bed. Maybe some pillows. Everything in this room is going to be mint or teal. Whoa, Bessie, that's a completely different color. It's the front ones. I think the back ones have just a little bit more shadow than the front ones. Y'all can't notice it, but I have an attention for detail with that. I mean, maybe you can notice it. I shouldn't belittle you guys' abilities. Maybe some of you guys are artists too, and you did notice it, but just certain little things that you see that like stand out to you from being a decorator or a builder. Fuck me, of course. Like I said, I don't want to do too much to this room. Oh, now the music wants to play. I was literally about to go into the next tab. My fingers were just about to get positioned. What's missing from her room? Maybe a closet? Here's what we'll do. We'll give her an upstairs closet that only she can access. Just gotta be careful out here because these little planters took fucking forever to place. I thought this one was off. I was gonna be so mad. That's where there's only 3. I was gonna put, oh no, there's 1, 2, there's 4. This side just has those 2. I was gonna place one here, but it got so fucking frustrating and grating on my nerves that I just gave up. Gonna be you and me. Gonna be everything. Since I have those stairs there, I can actually move this guy back. So I believe the computer will still be functional, and there will be room for her to walk through here. I guess. Because sometimes I place items on shelves with the move objects cheat or whatever. And so it doesn't always work out in your favor when you're going to move the house around. Come on, Dory bitch. It's a little weird, but I'm going to deal with that in a second. Right now, I just need to toss a door in here. Alright, so I had left these doors. Yeah, I'm just going to keep them. Because I don't build with Max's furniture ever. I was going to say all too often, but like ever. And, I mean, it's not that I don't give them credit, or enough credit anyways, because obviously it's a good thing, like, or I wouldn't be here. I don't care for the look of the plasticky Play-Doh looking set pieces. Like, I don't know, I prefer the look of CC. Not all CC, because there's some CC that needs a lot of work, that I'm not going to say negative things about, because obviously I'm grateful for every piece of CC, but there's some CC creators that need a lot of learning, that still have a lot of learning to do, and that doesn't mean to say they shouldn't keep creating. By all means, continue to create. That's how you learn. So there's the door. And here is... Alright, you guys, we're coming near the 30-minute mark. I will be ending the stream at 3 p.m. my time. I don't give a shit for this artist that they're featuring. Like, his voice was getting on my nerves. And he only sang for like 30 seconds. So. Or rapped, or whatever he was doing. Yeah, Johnny, you can buy the game on Origin.com. Thank you for that, though. And when you buy the game, it's not going to look anything like this, like anything like you see on my screen. Keep that in mind. I use custom content that you have to download, and there's a potential for that download lagging your game or completely making your game inoperable, so take that in mind. I didn't recommend you get CC. I'm not saying anything bad against it, but I don't want someone to be like, oh, I want my game to look like yours, and then me just say, oh yeah, go download CC, and then their shit crashes. And they come back to me and they're like, hey, you told me to download from this website specifically, and my shit crashed. Like, no, I didn't. I didn't tell you shit. You can download what you want to download, or don't download anything at all. It's not my business. I think that part of my defense mechanism by saying this is like an 18 and up channel or whatever was in order to keep bullshit questions out like that. Like questions that could easily be answered with fucking Google. But like, I know there's going to be kids on YouTube. I know there's going to be kids watching a stream. Even if I put in the title 18 and up, that would actually draw more attention towards people who were not 18. It would pique their curiosity and be like, oh, well, what am I missing out on? Type thing. So that's why I never bothered. But it would be nice to not have to deal with bullshit. And like, some people could just be genuinely curious. Like, they've never seen a game like this before. They don't know what the fuck Origin is. They don't play video games at all, and they just stumble across my video by mere chance. But like, come on now, The Sims has been a fucking franchise for, what, like nearly 20 years? Like, you've heard about The Sims. Like, when did this first Sims come out? Okay, maybe not nearly 20, but it's easily 15. I know that for sure. I'm going to Google it right now and I'll tell you guys. First release February 4th, 2000. It's 17 years old. "17 years old. Nearly 20 years. And you mean to tell me you've never heard of The Sims? I know you fucking lying." Alright, there was a song I wanted to listen to, but I'm gonna find the remix for it instead. Did I spell Keisha right? I'm sitting here with this fake expression, and the way I feel when girl I'm like a child. Couldn't even get an answer. But my power will let me down. I'm sitting here with this fake expression. The way I feel. I love you so much. Never goes all good. Baby, won't you come take me away? Couldn't you get an answer? With this fake expression. Come back to me tonight. Couldn't get an answer, baby. So I've mentioned before, I have really bad anxiety, and hearing my dog bark like that, like, literally scares the living shit out of me every fucking time he does it. What time is it, bro? Oh, it's 2:30. My little sister actually just left the house. So what I can do is, I'm still gonna end at 3. I'm not gonna like cut things short just because she's gone. I'm sure there's a mute button on my dogs. It's not like I said mutant, a mute button. Because I know they're fine. I literally heard the door close, so they're literally barking for no reason. They're just barking because she left. I don't know what that is. I should probably see, but I can't be bothered. I keep pressing the damn command key. You would think I've been playing this game for so long I would know the difference between the fucking command key and the alt key, but they're right next to each other. Oh, it's these flowers. Yeah, I'm gonna leave those there. I don't anticipate this house being anything like spectacular or anyone saying, "Oh my God, Alex, I can't believe you did this monumental ass thing." In today's news, Alex makes breaking headlines by building a fucking 6-story house on a 4-story only lot. I don't anticipate anyone fucking publishing my shit in the Huffington Post, but like I said, I wanted to stream, and this is my stream. I feel like the people who actually do come to my streams to support me will understand that I'm not doing this big elaborate stream, but also I think I'm going to incorporate more of these like smaller builds, I guess. Because I can't, there's no way to possibly build an entire house on a stream. When I first started streaming, I had an ample amount of free time. I was able to stay on stream. I think I even did like a 7-hour stream at one point, like completely unintentional. Like I didn't let anyone know I was going to be streaming for that long or anything. And yeah, that was probably one of my most successful streams because I was online for so long. It drew in, I had the capability of drawing in such a vast audience. However, it's not realistic to think I can do that long of a stream all the time. Or ever for that matter. Like I would like to be able to, but I have a lot of responsibilities in my day-to-day life to sit on the computer for 7 hours, let alone 3, 4, 5 hours at a time. So more likely than not, if you're new here, you can expect anywhere from a 2 to 3 hour stream at most. If the title says quick stream, chances are it's no more than an hour and 15 minutes to 2 hours. So it's just something to keep in mind. I am human. I couldn't possibly sit here and just like not eat and not check on my dogs all day and just stream for hours straight. This stream was possible because, like I said, my sister recently moved back in with us. So I have her to help with our dogs and whatnot when they're acting up or just need to be watched or supervised. Two of the 4 dogs that we have are actually toddlers. Like my dog is no older than 2. He'll be 3 years old in November 2nd. Yeah. And my sister's dog is a puppy, like a literal puppy. I don't even think he's a year old yet. This would be perfect house to use this on. Yes, but I'm so glad I did. By waited, I mean like waited to use this swatch. I've never used this on any house. Maybe on a roof once. Like you know how like some roofs Hold up, we might have done something. Like, just make the first level and the roof level. Yes, bitch. You better show me that texture variation. You better give me that architect tease. I'm so dumb. I don't know how y'all put up with me. But thank y'all for listening. For dealing with my bullshit. It's not bullshit, it's just incessant rambles, but sometimes, honestly, I'm like, really, Alex? You had to go there? You know what? I can actually change the whole look of this house. I'm nearing up the end of this build. I'm just going to do a little bit more up here in the front. Possibly change this trimmer on the bottom. Definitely going to change it because I do not like it anymore. Come on, bitch. I feel like I always build with really dark wood. There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's obviously limiting when I'm only using the darkest color of wood on a swatch to build something when there's 5 other ones. One, two, three, four. Why does that look weird? Ideally, I would also change the wood. I lost my train of thought there. I would ideally change the wood behind me. These wood posts, but there's a shit ton. Like there's 1, 2, there's at least 6 right here. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, there's 16 different posts that I would have to redo. Not right now. I kind of like it rounded anyways. It gives some texture. I might be able to keep this. Yeah, this just gotta go. Damn it, Meatball. My dog literally gives me the worst anxiety when he barks like that. I laugh because if not, I'd be sitting here like fucking panicking. I would have ended the stream already. But I did say I was going to wait till 3, so I can wait just a little bit longer. To anyone who has anything to say, like, oh, why aren't you checking on your dog? He is fucking fine. He was just a big-ass baby. He has anxiety too, so the second someone leaves the house, for all he knows they're dead, like they're never coming home. Like that's literally how my dog thinks half the time. which I guess is fine. Like, I'm grateful that I have a special dog that's not just like any other dog. It's just, it sucks. I wish he was a little more obedient and that he could just sit there and shut the fuck up. Like my sister's dog is a puppy, and I may not like him, but he's very well trained. Like he's, well, no, I take that back. He's not well mannered at all. He's just content with being in his crate and just sitting there silently until someone lets him out. You know what I mean? Or he's content with like playing with a ball by himself until I go down there to check on him. You know what I mean? Like it's always my dog that's like freaking out, running from one fucking end of the house to the other because he thinks that because you walk out the door you're dead and you're not coming home ever. Which to some people is cute. They're like, oh, your dog worries about you. No, this little fucker barks all fucking day. Like, it gets old. I had originally thought about putting a pool here. I'm going to. Quite a fucking lot. Oh, my butt. This is y'all's doing. Y'all have me out here streaming. Sitting on my bony ass. I'm just kidding. I love streaming with you guys and I love being here. I really do. My ass has to go numb for a little bit to prove that point, then so be it. Shit, I was just looking for a set of lawn chairs that I downloaded. They're like pull chairs, like tanning chairs, I guess, like chairs you lay out in. And of course, they're for the fucking Sims 3. I have them, they're just in my Sims 3 game. Be sure you guys hit that like button if you have not already, and see there's a few of you who haven't. Maybe you're making up your mind, maybe you haven't decided, but... Hi Poison. Hi Deborah. I know you're an hour late, but I apologize you didn't get notified sooner. I'm glad you're here though. It's good to hear that you're doing well, Deborah. Hi Simmer Boy, welcome back. You love the mural? The mural is actually one of the ones that they can paint themselves. That's another reason why I didn't want to destroy this house. So if you guys are just joining, this house actually looked like... I have a screenshot. I knew I saved it for a reason. Here's one picture of the house. This was her bedroom beforehand. Here is another picture. I guess I could leave these all up. To anyone who gets frustrated from looking at other people's desktops, don't fucking look at mine, because mine will frustrate you. There's a lot of shit going on there. But I know what's going on, so it's like... I don't mind it being cluttered like that. So there's another one, the bedroom one from earlier. I don't think I did anything here. Yeah, I didn't do anything in this room, so there's really no point in showing you guys. What's this? What the fuck is this? Oh yeah, this is the backyard before I added the pool in. This is the front patio. I'm just showing you guys pictures for anyone who's just joining the stream. You can see what the house looked like beforehand, and you can see the progress we've made so far. So I'm going to show you guys the front of the house now and show you what it looks like. So all of this was done under an hour. Oh. Alright, let me save this hoe because it just said the application is not responding. So I'm going to save this. I should have showed y'all the front of the house before I saved it, but feel free to ask any questions, you guys. I do appreciate questions. I'm sorry you're in the hospital, Deborah, but I do understand the getting away from reality by building. I really do. That's why I build mostly. So I'm grateful that you have your little laptop or whatever you're using to build. I hope you recover well soon. Well and thorough and soon. Fuck, y'all. Fuck. I might have to end the stream here, y'all. Shit. This never happened. Y'all are just gonna have to go back and watch the beginning of the stream to see what the house started off as. I did start the house as those pictures were. Shit. I'm just going to end the stream right here, you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming by. I really do appreciate it. Maybe closing OBS will allow me to save. Maybe not. You guys will have to stay tuned to figure that out. I should be streaming on Sunday sometime. I did say I would stop streaming around 3, and it's 2:54, so I mean, 6 minutes really isn't that much that you guys are missing out on. I probably would have just decorated like a little bit more of the outside, like added some plants or something. So if you guys want to see this house continued and finished, feel free to vote in the comments. I will be reading them after this. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for me and dealing with my madness. Have a good day. Go out and do something nice for someone. Or just give someone a compliment. That's nice enough. You know what I mean? What goes around comes around. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all later.